Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to the third episode of Yuva Darbar, a virtual platform for next generation performers. Before we start the event, I request all the participants and non-participants to mute their audios for now. And all the audience, please keep your audios muted throughout the program so that the performers will be able to give us the best during the next 30 minutes. I will open up the session meeting for open reviews and comments at the end of the performance. So I repeat again, I request all the audience to keep yourself muted throughout the program. Thank you so much. So as I said, in this third episode of Yuva Darbar, and with the current new normal life and routine, each of us have a duty and responsibility to stay positive and spread positivity, especially among the future generation. So this initiative of Yuva Darbar is a small effort to fulfill that responsibility toward the next generation talent. This platform encourages any talent in children under the age of 17 that has a touch of our Indian culture. I will not take more time here talking about the initiative. We have a detailed introduction video about the initiative, who can perform, what can be done, and all those details. So please feel free to watch the intro video on our YouTube Dhwani channel. We will be uploading every event on the Dhwani channel. So we will let the person who shared this link or the information about today's performance, we will let them know once the video is uploaded, and they can share the path to you, the link to you. Once again, I request and remind that all of us as an audience, we have to stay muted throughout the program. Let us begin today's episode with an invocation, presenting to you all Anaya Nathan for an invocation.
Manadil salanam illamal madiyil irule tondamal. Manadil salanam illamal madiyil irule tondamal. Ninikum podadu nin mauna நிலை வந்துதனி செயல் வேண்டும். நீனைக்கும் பொழுது நின் மௌன நிலை வந்துதனி செயல் வேண்டும். காணக்கும் செல்வம் 100 வயது எவையும் தரவே கடவாயே. காணக்கும் செல்வம் 100 வயது எவையும் தரவே கடவாயே. எனக்கு வேண்டும் வரங்களே இசப்பின் கீழாய் கணபதி. எனக்கு வேணும் வரங்களே இசப்பின் கீழாய் கணபதி.
Thank you, Anaya, for that wonderful rendition of such a motivating invocation in the words of Mahakavi Bharati. Moving on to the main event of the day. Today's session is going to be a very, very educative, informative, and of course, interesting, with a lot of takeaways at the end of the session. As you all may have noticed in the poster, today's performance will be a role play of a very important chapter from the Ramayana, which is a conversation between Bharata and Rama. To make this session one of its kind, I proudly present to you Tarun Venkatraman and Varun Venkatraman, two multi-talented boys from Bentonville, Arkansas. They have always been passionate about theaters and have also been a part of the cast in many theater productions at Bentonville. Apart from theater, music also runs in the family. The boys are also getting trained in Carnatic vocal, and they also have their hands on the mridangam. So here we have Tarun Venkatraman and Varun Venkatraman to enlighten us with loads of knowledge today. Tarun and Varun, the stage is yours.
Hello everyone, today welcome to the Rama and Bharata Sambhashanam by Tarun and Varun Venkatraman. So today I would like to start off with a prayer on Sri Rama called the Rama Janarthana. So, one of the most interesting characters in the entire epic Ramayana is that of Sri Bharata, the younger brother of Sri Rama. We all know the story of the epic Ramayana. So while Bharata was away at the house of his grandparents, Kaikeyi with Manthara plotted to get Rama into exile. She thought that if Rama was away, her son Bharata would easily become king, as he was the second son of Dasharatha. But by the time Bharata had returned and found out that his beloved brother Rama was away in the forest, he felt like he was being struck by lightning. His sorrow and rage knew no bounds. He cursed his mother and went to the Dandaka forest in search of his brother Sri Rama, who was his life and soul, to ask him to come back. Saint Tulasidas writes the following prayer on Sri Bharata. Now, Aratana Dharmana Kama Ruchi Gatina Chahaun Nirvana Janama Janamarati Rama Pada Yaha Bardana Ana. In this, Bharata says, I do not want wealth, nor righteousness, nor the fulfillment of my desires. I do not even want liberation. All I wish is that in life and afterlife, I have pure love for the lotus feet of Sri Rama. We are amazed to see that he does not even want liberation. That is why in Tamil, in Kamba Ramayana, Kamba asserts that not even 1,000 Ramas will be equivalent to one Bharata. Tai ure kondu tade udaviya tarani tanne tivine enna neet sirandana mugatil tekiya தேக்கி போயினை என்ற பொருது புகரினோய் தன்மை கண்டால் காண்டால் ஆயிரம் நாம நின்கே ஆவரோ தெரியன் அம்மா.
We all know and agree that Ramayana is one such epic we can say is an encyclopedia of life lessons, right? Every character and every small part of Ramayana teaches us some value which is applicable in our own lives. It is very heartwarming to see the next generation kids like Tarun and Varun take up such a topic full of values and trying to understand, study, and then present it in front of us. Kudos to the effort and the confidence with which the kids are on the stage today to share their knowledge and enlighten us on this very, very important chapter from the Ramayana. Let's all set our moods again. Tarun and Varun are just getting into their costumes for the main part of today's session, which is a role play. And the topic, as said by Tarun, is going to be 1000 Ramas equal 1 Bharata. So mostly it is Rama's character that we have always seen in light. Of course, Rama is one such person, right? It's all about positive characters in him. So it's all about Rama that mostly we have been learning in most of the places. But as I said, every character in the Ramayana, they have some lesson or the other for us. So today we have taken this effort to bring in the character of Bharata to present in front of you.
Now, Bharata has set to us an example that we must not ever take what is unjustly ours. Today, we shall see a scene from the epic Ramayana, where Bharata goes to the forest Dandaka to meet with his brother Sri Rama and ask him to come back to Ayodhya and rule over it.
Oh Maharaj, please come back to Ayodhya and take the throne which is rightfully yours.
How can I? Our father has commanded that you should be king.
How can a donkey emulate a horse? How can an ordinary bird be compared to Garuda? How can I follow in your footsteps, my lord?
Bharata, please, I have to fulfill the commands of our father, Dasharatha.
There's a saying that at the time of death, people lose their sense of judgment. Our father has made that saying true. He may have made the command out of a fit of rage, and there's nothing wrong with setting it right, especially by a noble son like you. Please, save me, my mother, our relatives, and all the subjects of our kingdom.
Bharata, it is not appropriate to question the words of our father who is in heaven.
Okay, but then the first duty of a warrior is to get crowned so that he can protect his people.
You are equal in every way to become such a warrior.
I'm a junior to you in situation, learning, and by birth. How can I take up the throne knowing that you're suffering in the forest? Please show me some compassion.
These words of which you speak are worthy of you, but I must fulfill the commands of our father. You must take up the throne. Please go back to the excellent city of Ayodhya, mind full of joy, so I may go into the Dandaka forest with my mind full of joy.
Please give me your sandals.
Yeah.
I shall place them on the throne and rule only on your behalf. I shall not enter Ayodhya. I will live in the outskirts of it, in Nandigram, and lead the life of a hermit, just like you. If I do not see you on the following day, when the 14 years have ended, I will enter the fire. Ram, Ram.
Now with this we can see the compassion and the righteousness in the heart of Bharata. He who could have become the king of all of Ayodhya, despite just being the second son, decided that Dharma and his duty to his elder brother is more important than even the fulfillment of his own desires. We should all praise such a great man as Sri Bharata. Thank you.
That was an awesome performance, Tarun and Varun. Wasn't it full of values? Let's write down what value we learned from this role play, and we can share it with each other at the end of the session. To complement the role play, let us listen to the full story of Ramayana. Can we listen to the full story of Ramayana? I know it's not possible in a matter of 30 minutes, but we still can, because we have the Ekashloki Ramayana, and we have two beautiful kids, Vedasram and Saumya, who are going to chant the Ekashloki Ramayana. Vedas and Saumya, you're ready?
Yes.
You can.
Adau Ramakapolanachigamanam Hatva Mrigam Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayu Maranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Vali Nigrahanam Samudra Taranam Lanka Puri Dahanam Paschat Ravana Kumbhakarna Hananam Mandanam Etat iti Ramayanam Etat iti Ramayanam Etat iti Ramayanam.
Thank you so much, kids. That was a cute and sincere attempt. This Ekashloki Ramayana brings in all the important events that happen in Ramayana. I hope all of you will go back home and learn it if it's something new that you have learned today. Moving on to the next part of today's agenda. Diwali is a festival that every Indian awaits throughout the year. I hope all of you had a wonderful and positive Diwali this year as well. With just a week past Diwali, don't you think it is important to understand the significance of this festival? Here we have Tarun and Varun again narrating the Diwali stories. Get ready to stock up more information from this session. Tarun and Varun.
Deepavali story. Hi all, have you wondered why we celebrate Deepavali? Deepavali is India's national festival and celebrated by non-Hindu communities. In Jainism, they believe that their founder, Guru Mahavira, attained nirvana or spiritual awakening on this day of Deepavali.
For Sikhs, Diwali is the day where their Guru, Har Gobind Ji, the sixth Sikh Guru, was freed from imprisonment. Buddhists in India celebrate Diwali as well.
There are many beliefs to why we celebrate Deepavali.
You all saw the scene when Rama was in the forest and why Bharata went to meet him. The main reason that we celebrate Diwali is that Rama returned to Ayodhya after 14 years of exile. Because this happened, the people of Ayodhya illuminated their city with bright lamps to welcome their king Rama. And we continue that practice today.
In the western part of India, it is believed that Diwali is the day when Mahabali went to rule the netherworld.
In southern India, we call it Naraka Chaturthi. Diwali is the day when Lord Krishna killed Narakasura. So, let us tell you the story of Narakasura.
Alright, so let us begin. Narakasura was an evil asura that used to torture the entire universe for many years before eventually being killed by Sri Krishna during the time of the Mahabharata. So even though Narakasura was very wicked and nefarious, he had very divine and great parents. His mother was Bhumi Devi, the goddess of earth, and his father was Lord Varaha, the born avatar of Lord Vishnu. After Lord Varaha had killed the wicked demon Hiranyaksha by chopping off his neck from his body using Sudarshana Chakra, Goddess Bhumi Devi wanted to marry him, and so Varaha and Bhumi Devi got married after the death of Hiranyaksha. They both had a son by the name of Nara. But soon after the death of Hiranyaksha's elder brother Hiranyakashipu, Lord Varaha became insane and started torturing the entire world himself, until eventually Lord Shiva took the incarnation of Sharaba and killed off both Narasimha and Varaha. With the death of his father, Nara had lost lots of protection from bad influence, and his mother could not stop him from making friends with very bad people such as Banasura. With this, Nara grew very arrogant and very cruel, and by the time he had grown up into an adult, he started torturing the entire world. Soon he took over the netherworld and became called and renamed himself Narakasura, or the Lord Asura of Hell. So after that, Narakasura started torturing the entire planet Earth for millions upon millions of years, until eventually he went and got a boon from Lord Brahma that he could only be killed by his mother Bhumi Devi, for he was assured that a true mother could never kill her own kid. So after this, Narakasura found out that Lord Indra had 1,000 elephants up in heaven. After millions of years of harassing the people of planet Earth, he and his asuras went and invaded Devaloka, and they defeated all the Devtas. After Narakasura had defeated Lord Indra himself, he found out that Lord Indra's mother, Aditi, had golden earrings on her ears. He was astonished by them. He harassed her until he stole both her golden earrings from her ears. This harassment had gotten his sins too far, and Mother Aditi began to cry. Lord Indra, viewing this humiliation of his mother, became infuriated. He could choke Narakasura to death, but how could he, as Narakasura had defeated him in battle and proven his superior strength? And so Lord Indra went to Lord Krishna. During this time, Lord Sri Krishna was in Dwaraka with his wife Satyabhama when Lord Indra had arrived. Lord Indra then said, "O Sri Gopala, please help us. The wicked demon Narakasura has taken his sins too far. He has harassed the people of the earth for many, many years, and now he has stolen all my 1,000 elephants and humiliated my mother by stealing her earrings. Please, you have to end his life right now. Please, Govinda." To which Govinda said, "Do not worry, Devendra, for Naraka has certainly gone, his sins have certainly gone too far. I will go right now to his palace, to his castle, and kill him right now." Satyabhama, too infuriated at the humiliation of Indra's mother, too asked, "O Lord Krishna, my lord, can I please be your charioteer?" "Yes," said Gopala. "You may please be my charioteer, Satyabhama." Gopala went on a chariot to Narakasura's castle with Satyabhama as his charioteer. Soon, a whole bunch of celestial spears and swords were thrown right at them, but Lord Krishna, with the help of his bow and arrows, destroyed them all. Soon, at the gates of Narakasura's castle was Murasura, a 5-headed demon that was Narakasura's guardian. A fight broke out between Mura and Sri Krishna, until Sri Krishna eventually took out his Sudarshana Chakra and chopped off all of Mura's 5 heads, and killed him. After this, Govinda and Satyabhama went right inside of Naraka's castle. Govinda then said, "Narakasura, Mura is now dead. Fight with me now." Naraka then said, "O Krishna, I shall kill you now. Prepare to fight." And then a mace fight broke out between Sri Krishna and Narakasura, until eventually Sri Krishna pretended to be fainted and wounded by Narakasura's mace, as he could not defeat him. This worked out as his plan, and Satyabhama became enraged at the hurt caused to her husband. She immediately took out a Brahmastra, celestial weapon, and shot it right at the chest of Narakasura. Narakasura, while breathing his last, realized that Satyabhama is actually an incarnation of his mother Bhumi Devi, and thus Satyabhama realized the same thing. She was in sorrow, now thinking that she had killed, knowing her, she killed her own son, but was comforted by Lord Krishna. This teaches us that when children do very wrong things, parents must punish them. After this, the son of Narakasura, Bhagatata, came down into the castle. He was infuriated at the death of his father, and he vowed revenge against Lord Krishna for his father Narakasura's death. And Lord Krishna said that yes, Bhagadatta, soon me and you will fight, and let us see if you can avenge the death of your father or not. Later on, the Kurukshetra war, Bhagadatta was killed by Lord Krishna and his friend Arjuna. After Bhagadatta had left, Lord Indra came down and told Lord Krishna, "Thank you, Lord Krishna. Thank you, Satyabhama, for the death of Narakasura and the saving of our world. Thanks to the two of you, Narakasura is now dead, and peace and hope has been restored to the universe. To show my gratitude to the two of you, I would like to commemorate this day for the two of you as Naraka Chaturthi, or Deepavali, the festival of lights. To celebrate that this day is the day that you, Lord Krishna, and your wife Satyabhama had killed the wicked demon Naraka and restored peace, hope, and light back to the universe. So be it, said Lord Krishna. And thus, that is why we celebrate Deepavali, the death of Narakasura.
So, whatever your belief is for why we celebrate Diwali, in the end, it is the victory of good over evil. Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, Tarun and Varun. I think we should all give them a big round of applause. As I mentioned in the beginning that it's going to be a very educative, informative, and interesting session, I am sure that it really did. I would like to congratulate the boys for such a wonderful effort. And also the boys have been able to do it only because the parents are facilitating them to be in touch with our culture and all that they can do to bring that out to the rest of the generation as well. This Yuva Darbar, the initiative, it has been a success, I should say. It's only the third episode, but time and again, in every episode, the grandparents of the performers have been playing a wonderful role in shaping the grandchildren. Right, it's been a blessing. I will not be tired to say that grandparents are always a blessing to every child out there. And in today's performance, Mrs. Nirmala Ramachandran, grandmother of Tarun and Varun, she was the one who took that extra effort to really script out a wonderful introduction to the role play. You would have seen that Tarun was mentioning about Kabir, Doha, and Kamba Ramayana and all, right? All those anecdotes have been compiled by his grandmother, Mrs. Nirmala Ramachandran. Thank you so much, the grandparents, for being so wonderful and inspiring the next generation and reminding them again and again what they are capable of. And of course, thank you so much to all the audience who are able to come today and be there throughout the session, encouraging the kids. So I will now open the session for reviews and comments. You can unmute yourself and share any reviews or comments if anyone wants to do so.
Hi Matangi, this is Mrs. Vimarsini Murli from India, Chennai.
Oh my
nice
God,
to
wonderful,
see
wonderful.
So, though it is late around 11:30 p.m. here, wanted to, really just participate and see what is happening around in your episodes of Dhwani. And that was a wonderful presentation by the kids. And it's really very, I feel very happy to know that the younger generations are still trying to keep up all our culture and heritage, and people like you are also taking so much effort to, giving them a platform to even exhibit irrespective of the age. So the kids, the first kids, I think the Soumya batch and all also, the shloka was wonderful. And as you said, those who don't know can also learn it. Better late than never.
So true, so true, so true.
And as you rightly said, even the grandparents, especially who are there at abroad, also are keeping up themselves very energetic, and like guiding the kids also, which is very much required at this need of our owing to the situations and prevailing current situation across the globe. People who really have the grandparents with them only can really understand the value, I hope. Right?
Yeah, true,
So
very true, very true.
that's it, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Looking for more such programs. Hope you conduct one or two more also. So,
Sure,
will
we
be
would
more
really love
encouraging.
to do that. As of now, just the beginning of started it with one session every month, but we will be more than happy to have more sessions and encouraging more younger talent. And thank you, Mrs. Vimarsini Murli, for joining today's session live. Even as you said, it is late already. Thank you so much. It really will encourage the performers, I'm sure. They will really want to do something for such kind of audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, bye-bye.
I wanted to say thanks and appreciate you for coming up with the theme-based program, Matangi. It really helps to dig deep into a subject, right? Than choosing so many different topics and doing it. If you go theme-based, it really helps the teens, especially Tarun age people, to go into that subject, learn something about it, and come and present it. It's a very nice idea, and thank you for doing it. Appreciate all your effort in doing it.
Thank you so much, Vidya. That really motivates us. I'm sure we'll come up with really much more quality performances once again. So on the screen, we have Tarun and Varun's grandparents as well. Mama and Mami, thank you so much for being there for the kids. As I said, please keep inspiring them like this always. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. We would really like to do something in the next Yuva Darbar. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I would actually like to playwright the next script, and I think we could have a few friends joining in. So I would not like to announce everything that has happened next for the next one, but we've also had an idea for a performance we'll do the next Yuva Darbar. So
that I'm really excited about that, Tarun. I wish you all the best and really looking forward to materializing this idea, Tarun.
Yes, but for this exact performance we've done today, I mean, we're doing a 3 people performance next time, but for the performance we did today, but I would really like to give a thanks to Matangi Auntie for putting this whole thing up. We could never have done it without you. I would like to give a thanks to my Amuma, because I just found out that she was the one who we just found out that she was the one who scripted this whole thing. I would like to thank every single one of you for coming in here, but I would like to thank the kids a lot. I would like to thank Ananya for singing this. I would like to thank Vedas and Soumya for singing Adorama, because you kids spiced this whole thing up very much. And we would like to thank even the audience. If you all did not watch this, then we would have never been able to do this performance. Thank you to everyone for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, Karun. You all will accept that, this is the reason I said that these kids are so talented and they are so impromptu on the screen. Big applause to them once again. Thank you each and everybody who took that time out during a weekend to join and made this Yuva Darbar a great success. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. So see you all in the next episode of Yuva Darbar. Hope to see much more turnouts in the episodes to come. Please do subscribe to the Dhwani YouTube channel. You will be getting a full video of the entire episode today. So please don't hesitate to share it with your friends and family, whoever couldn't attend it today. We don't want this knowledge to be deprived at all to anybody. So I think it was loads and loads of information today. So thank you once again, everybody. Thank you all.